Hello, good evening, and welcome to tonight's webinar. I am so happy that you took the time out your busy schedule to be here. Once again, my name is Sterling McKinley. I'm a digital marketing expert. What does that mean? That means I know a lot and I love digital marketing. And tonight, we have a great webinar for you. This webinar is presented by the U.S. Black Chambers and also the good folks at Grow with Google. So, you may be asking yourself, what is Grow with Google? So it's this program that's set up to help black-owned companies make the most out of Google's tools, service, products, and digital tools. And tonight, that's what we're talking about. We're going to talk about how to use Google searches to what? To reach more people, to reach more customers online. So let's get started. Let me back up here a little bit. Get my play started. Give me 1 second. You're getting an overview of all my slides. Sorry about that. I'm a little out of order. Uh, all right, here we go. Let's get started. So I just told you what Growth Google is about. It's all about helping minorities get all the tools and trainings they need to use Google's products and services. So, also, I want to say again, this webinar is all about you. It's not about me. I know digital marketing. I know this stuff. It's about me and about me answering your questions, making sure that you have all questions answered, making sure you're all concerned. So, if any time tonight, through this next hour webinar, if you have any question about anything I said or about digital marketing in general, about any challenges you've been having in digital marketing, please type those comments in the chat box below and I'll stop. I'll be sure to answer your question as full as possible. Once again, please ask any questions because the best webinars, the best trainings are what? When we have the interaction, we're going back and forth. So please be sure to ask your questions. All right. So that brings us to tonight's webinar. We're talking about how to reach customers online with Google. And that's so important. It's all about that because, as you know, and we'll talk about tonight, Google is the world's #1 search engine. And it's all about getting found on Google. So we're talking about that. So if you're ready to get started, type in reach. If you're ready to get started and learn more about Google's products and services, type in reach and we'll get started. I'll give you a second. So once again, if you're ready to get started, type in reach and we'll get started. Anybody, don't be shy. Just type in reach. And this is kind of what I was saying earlier. I'm all about having that interaction, that back and forth. So once again, if you're ready to get started, type in reach and we'll get started. Let's see who's gonna come up first. Okay. You are a little quiet tonight. I understand that. So we'll move on. But once again, this training is interactive. Your questions, your comments are so key to making this the best webinar possible. So let's go ahead and get started. So, question for you all. How do you typically find things you want or you need? Simple. The answer is right there. Google. It's almost become, another word now, a phrase. If you have a question, if you want to find a location, a restaurant, a business, what? People say Google it. So the first thing we do as consumers, we reach out, we grab our phones, we get on our computers, we get on our tablets, desktops, and we search on Google. Why? Because that is the way to find products and services. We have a comment here, a little late. I believe Hilda says reach. Yes, thank you for that comment. We have one, so appreciate that. So yeah, once again, it's all about Google, and I always say that Google, in many ways, is the new phone book. Back in the day, growing up, I remember we had those really big yellow phone books that had, I don't know, 20,000, 30,000 pages in it. And that's how you found the business. You had to flip through each page in alphabetical order and find the business that you wanted. And it was cumbersome. It wasn't the best way to find things. And sometimes you lost a phone book and it wasn't the best. But now Google, in many ways, has replaced, and not many ways, Google has replaced the phone book. People are not sitting there looking through books trying to find you your products and services. No, they're going to the computer. They're going to their mobile device. They're going to Google and they're finding you that way. So that's why you have to be there because Google now is primarily it's the primary way that your customers are finding your products, services, and your business. So Google is also responsible for 53% of all traffic to your website. I'll say it again. Search, which is primarily Google, is responsible for 53% of all traffic to your website. That's major. So what does that mean? That means over half the people that find your business online are coming there from a Google search. That's major. Once again, that's just driving home the point why you have to be visible on Google. When somebody does a search on Google, on YouTube, Google My Business, you have to come up. Why? Because half of your customers are going to find you that way. And I say it's so important now to be found on Google because in this new digital economy, digital world, many times the first experience somebody has with your company, your brand, with you, is going to be digital. The days of word of mouth are fading away. It's still there, but now it's digital. And guess what? Even if somebody tells me about a product, service, or company, guess what? Before I call that company, I'm still going to what? I'm going to Google that company and I'm going to use that digital presence, that website, what I see to judge if I'm going to call them or if I'm not. So that's why it's so key to have a digital presence because once again, 53% of your traffic is coming from Google. So that is major, and that's why you have to be on Google. So tonight's agenda, pretty simple. We have about an hour. So first, we're going to talk about how Google search works. Then we're going to talk about how you can reach customers with search engine optimization, also known as SEO. And then we're going to talk about ways to improve search engine optimization, also known as SEO. After that, we're going to do a recap, go over everything, and I'll give you some tools and resources. All right, first one is how Google search works. And I think this is very important because I think as people, when we understand how something works, we have a high level of being comfortable with that thing. And when you understand it, when you're comfortable with that, I believe you use it more and more. So tonight, I'm really going to break down how Google search works. What happens when a customer types in your business name and how to end up on your website. And that's key because if you understand that, then you'll understand how to position your website to get more sales, phone calls, and leads for your business. So first, it all starts with a search. Of course, the first thing, this is what somebody sees on their desktop or on their phone, a Google search. You go to Google and you type in that search. Why? Because you want something. And that's the key thing I love about Google is people come to Google because they want things now. Yes, some people research, some people click bookmarks and favorites, but primarily when somebody comes to Google, I want service now. So I want to go to a dry cleaners now. I want food now. I want to see a movie now, not a week from now. So once again, when somebody searches for you, that's a great point to be because you have your customer when they're ready to buy. And that's amazing. So they're not browsing. They are comparing, but they're ready to buy something. And that's when Google is going to show your information when the customers are not buying mode. So that's very key. Okay, so let's break down kind of the anatomy of a web page. So first thing we have here is we have the text ads. Below that, we have organic search. And on the side, we have a business profile. So I'm going to show you an example of that. I'm going to share my screen really quickly. Let's do a search for lawyers. And search for lawyers. Okay. Make my screen a little smaller so you can see everything. And what do you see here? So right here at the top, see my mouse? These are uh, listings. And also over here on the side, you see the map feature. Once again, this is why it's so important to have a page on Google My Business. And also down here, you see the organic listings as well. Let's try another one. Let's look for food. Pretty general, but food, once again, you see that. You see Google My Business coming up here. This is very important for your business to be here. You see also you have the different organic links. And by organic, we mean they're not paid for. These links are being pulled from your website, and that's why you're seeing them. And some more features you see also on Google. You'll see at the top here, you see a map listing. Click on that. It takes you to a bigger map format where you can view more of Google My Business. That's why it's so important to have a profile on Google My Business, because that way, when somebody does a search, this is what they're going to see. They're going to see a map, and depending on where you're located, they can click on one of those icons, and they can then come to your store. Also on search, there are more features. Back at the top here, so we go to images as well, images of food. The next one that I'll go to is videos. Once again, so I'm showing you this because there's multiple ways that you can show up on Google search, and it's all about visibility. The more your customer can see you, the better. And I always say, don't make customers think. Put your information right there, bold. And that's what Google does. It puts you in front of customers when they're looking for a product or service. So, once again, I show you this. You type in a search, and what Google does, Google goes through the internet, websites, and it finds relevant topics, and then it shows those to you. And that's how it kind of works. So, before I move on, let's do something. I want to know how I'm doing. So if you're enjoying the webinar, give me a 5. Just type in 5. If you, this is so, give me a 0. So once again, if you're enjoying this webinar, type in 5. If it's so, give me a 0. I want to hear from you. I want that feedback. So let me know how I'm doing. Give me a 5 if this is great. If I'm doing okay, just give me a 1 or give me a 0. We got one. Got a 5. Appreciate that. 5 is always good. All right, I'll get back to the presentation, but anybody else who want to chime in, anytime, once again, type in your questions, type in your comments, because this webinar is interactive. I want to hear from you. I want to answer your questions. So if anybody has a question or comment, please type in those below. Okay, so let's move on to how to reach customers with search engine optimization, also known as SEO. So, what is SEO? You probably hear this term a lot. People are throwing it around because it really is important. But SEO is the process of making your website better for the search engines. That's all it is. Think about it as a competition. You're constantly trying to make your website better to move ahead of your competition. That's what it is. You're fighting for that position. So that's what SEO is. SEO is all about making your website better so you come up higher within the search engines. So one way that SEO really works, one big way, is keywords. And once again, this is a term you probably hear before, but keywords and keyword phrases are the words people type in to find your product or your service. So you want to think about, what are the words, what are the phrases customers are typing in to find your product or your service. And once again, let's go to a live view. So once again, if I was looking for food, I would type in food recipes. Once again, that's a keyword phrase that somebody might type in. And if you see here, all the sites that pop up are the sites that had the words recipe and food in them. So you can scroll down and you can see those. Once again, that's why it's so important to have the right keywords and the right terms in your website, because those are the ways that a customer is going to be able to find your website and ultimately come to your website and then hopefully call your business or send you email for service. So let's do an activity real quick. So for everybody on the webinar tonight, I want you to do something. I want you to get inside of your customer's head. Now, I want you to pretend that you know nothing about your business. And when I say nothing, I mean you don't know your name. And that's the thing we have to really key on is most people, when they search for you online, they don't know the name of your product or your service. Unless you're a household name like Nike or something like that, people are typing Nike shoes. But chances are your customers online don't know your name. So on this exercise, let's pause for a few minutes, but I want you to go on with a list and also share the list in the chat box. 5 keywords that describe your business. So take a minute and come up with 5 keywords that describe your business. Once again, 5 keywords describe your business, and also let's share those keywords. Type those in the chat box, and we'll go through those. And I use some feedback on what keywords you should have on your website. Once again, think about keywords to describe your business, and also feel free to type in those keywords in the chat box. And while waiting for that, I'll show you a few examples of what I mean. Okay, we have a few here. Keywords are travel, tourism, culture, vacation, and global. Okay, those are good. Those are good. But also with your keywords, try to be very detailed. And by that I mean a keyword phrase. A phrase is a collection of words that describe your business. Because think about it. If I go online and type in travel, man, I'm gonna see so many listings. Why? Because that's a really broad term. Or tourism, that's a really broad term. So think about the keyword or the phrase that really describes what you do, that makes you unique. Because once again, that's what your customers are going to do, whether they're going to type in online to find you. Typing in, terms that are very broad may not work. We have another comment here. It says baking supplies. Okay, that's good. But once again, think about ways to make that, Miss Lori, um, think about ways to make that term more niche in the sense. So maybe it's natural baking supplies. Maybe it's baking supplies. I don't know, but something. What makes you different? Try to have those keywords in your website. And I'll show you an example real quick. So let's pretend that we were at a restaurant. Okay, here we go. So you can see this. keyword I typed in is food. And food is a very general keyword. If you type in food, you will get recipes, restaurants, and everything. So let's scroll down here and see what I mean. So if you scroll down right here, we see a ton of things. You see Washington Post, we see Food Network, food.com. We see so many things. Wikipedia, all about food. So that's very, I mean, that's the term food is very general. So by being so general, it's going to pull up and show a lot of posts that are, a lot of websites that are general. And we don't want that because what happens is when you have a very general keyword, phrase, or term on your website, you're going to get mixed in with all the other websites. So the point of really mastering SEO is to make sure that you stand out from all other companies. And one way to do that be by being very targeted with your keyword phrase. So we have one here. It says personal shopping, shipping. I have a country which is my niche. I prefer not to mention. Okay, great. I like that. Yeah, but something that makes you stand out. That's what you really want to do. Really want to have a niche. So going back to that example, and we type in food. Food is very general, like I said. But what if we type in vegan soul food? Okay, that's a little more targeted. So it's going to be easier to stand out on that term or phrase. Why? Because it's very targeted. And you also have to think about your customer. When your customer goes online, they're not typing in food because they're hungry. They're typing in what they want. So they type in, chicken or fish or whatever they want, or if you like vegan food or soul food. Those are the common terms that people are typing in to find your products and services in your business. They're not really going broad. They're going with those terms that are really narrow. And it's also easier to show up within Google if you type in terms that are more targeted and not very general. So once again, looking at this website here, vegan soul food, something that's very targeted and doesn't just fade into the background. So think about that. Think about the words and the phrases your customers type in to find your business. And it's not going to be a general term. It's going to be a term that's very targeted. Once again, any questions in the comments about anything I just said or about anything with digital marketing, type in those comments below and I'll be sure to answer those questions. So why is SEO so important? I just gave you some tips and I'll give you some more. So first thing, SEO makes your website more visible to the people searching for your products, services, or your brand. That's it. And in today's age of digital, in this economy and world that's so busy and noisy, it's all about visibility. I believe the more eyeballs you have in your business, the more money that you can possibly make. So once again, SEO is so important. Why? Because it's all about increasing visibility for your brand. It's all about elevating your brand, and having more eyeballs on your company is definitely going to lead to that. Next, like I said before, it allows you to connect with consumers, keyword here, that are actively looking for your products and services you offer. And that is the beauty of Google, is that when somebody comes and they do a Google search, they're ready to buy. They're looking for your product. They're looking for your service. And unlike, TV commercials, if you watch TV now is hard to watch for me because there's so many commercials. It's Geico, it's Under Armour, Pizza Hut, on and on and on. All these commercials, right? And all these commercials, they are offering you product and services that, let's face it, many times you don't want. You change the channel when a commercial comes on. You look away. You go on your phone when a commercial comes on. On YouTube, when a commercial pops up you don't like, you skip that. Even though that commercial is tailored to you, there's still a good chance you hate commercials. But Google is different. Now with Google, your customer has the power. They're choosing what they want to see. So Google is showing them what they want to see. So if I search for a vegan restaurant, I'm going to find that. If I search for organic cooking supplies, I'm going to find that. And that's something amazing. Now the dynamics have changed. Now the customer has the power. So the customer is telling you what they want. And the last one, by being on Google and why SEO is so important, it increases the potential sales for your company by appearing more prominently in the Google search. Like I just said, it's all about those listings. The higher in the search that you can come up, the better. If you're on the second, third, fourth page, the chance of getting clicked go way down. But if you're on that first page, if you have a link in that first page, like I showed you, you have your website, Facebook, Twitter, and on the side you have your Google profile. Guess what? That's more visibility, and the chances of finding your company goes up. So let's look at my digital presence. I'm talking about what you used to have. Let's see what I have. So if you were to go to Google right now and type in my name, which is Sterling McKinley, this is what you would see. You'll see my web presence, and I made this way on purpose. So the first thing you see is my website, sterlingmckinley.com. You see my LinkedIn profile, Instagram page. You see me on Facebook and so on. And if you go through any of these pages, same thing. You see the kind of branding. You'll see me, talking. You see my videos and so on. If you were to click on a link and go to my LinkedIn page, same thing. You see all of the things that I do. So as the customer, this makes me feel better. Why? Because I can verify you are who you say you are. You can even go to let's see what else. Our article here about me. Once again, the more links, the better. And also on the side here, what you see my picture, and you see my brief bio and links to my profiles. Once again, you want this. You want to dominate Google. Even if you go to images, you see pictures of me all throughout here. If you go to videos, you see me all again. Why? This is intentional. And this is what I mean. You have to dominate Google. When somebody types in your products or services or your name, your company, they have to see you. You have to be visible. And the more visible you are, the more chances you have to make sales. Hello, thanks for joining us. Appreciate that. So once again, it's all about visibility, all about being visible to your customers. And how do you do that? There's a few ways. The first thing, content is key. And by content, I mean web pages, videos, links, text, pictures. All those things are content. And the more pieces of content you have online, the more you can be found by your customers. So the first thing is publish great content. What do I mean with that? So publish relevant, original content. So having a blog, blogging, creating videos is another way you can create that content. The next one is you want to use descriptive titles and also descriptions for your web pages. This is very important. I'll talk more about this later, but I'll show you right now because this is really the key. So let's do another search here. Let's look up. Okay, let's do a search here. I typed in a search for public speakers. So this is why it's so important to have good titles and descriptions on your website, because when you're on Google, This is all you see. You don't have to send pictures. You may see some or videos, but primarily you're sending a text result. So having good title like this is great. 50 top speakers in the world. Great. That's a good title to have because it pulls you in. And then also having a good description that tells you more about what's on the page. So let's type in lawyers in Maryland. And I'll show you again. This is what I mean. So once again, it's showing you the title and description. That's the carrot because that's all your customers are seeing to click a website, click a link. So once again, that's why you want to make sure you have good titles and descriptions. Why? Because those are the things that people are clicking on to find your website. Let's see if I can find you a good example for lawyers. Try the next page. So right here, getting an attorney to handle your criminal case. Great. Good title because why it tells exactly what you do. So if I want that, it's going to pull me in. And now it has a description about the page. It says, what does a criminal defense attorney do? And it says more information. But it's so key to have descriptive titles and descriptions on your website. And one key also is make each one of those unique. So if you have 10 pages, every page should have the same title and description. No, the title and description should identify what's on that page. So if you're a restaurant and you have a page about hamburgers, the title should be hamburgers and the description should tell about hamburgers. If you have one for hot dogs, the title should be hot dogs and the description should tell about hot dogs you have. So really break down in those titles and descriptions because that's the way that people are going to find you online. Okay, we have a little time left, moving a little fast tonight. So, once again, any questions or comments, please type those below, and I will answer those. Once again, the best webinars, trainings, when I hear from you. So once again, any questions or comments you have about digital marketing, please type those in the chat box, and I'll be sure to answer those questions. So ways to improve search engine optimization. I'm sorry, search engine optimization. Big word. Very important because we all want to get more views to our website. So you have to be very strategic about how you do that. So I'm going to give you some tips and some strategies to get better results and move higher up those results in Google. So I said this earlier, but once again, you need to produce high quality content. Your content has to be quality, recent, and relevant. Exactly. So Google rewards websites that have content, and they have content that's created recently. So if you haven't created content on your website, social media page, anything for months or for years, that's not good. You're probably going to come up lower on search results. So be sure if it's weekly, if it's monthly, to add new content to your website because that is going to keep your site fresh and keep people coming back to your website. Next is start a blog. Blogging is a great way. Is a great way. Is a great tool to get more customers to your website. So whatever you do, if it's travel, blog about travel. Top 10 destinations for 2022. If you sell baking supplies, you can create blogs about baking supplies, new baking supplies that come out, tips and strategies, and so on. Or if you're doing travel, once again, type in, travel, tourism. With COVID and monkeypox, there's so many things to think about when you travel. So if you own a travel business, you can write about all those topics. And guess what? I always say that Google is like a phone book. The more pages you have in Google, the better. Think about the old phone book back in the day. It was big, it was yellow, it was I don't know, 10,000 pages. If you had one ad in that phone book, you had one chance of getting found. But think, if you had 10, 20, 30 pages, guess what? Your chances of getting found go through the roof. So it's the same with Google. The more information, the more pages, the more blog posts you can add, the better chance you get found by your customers. So that's why you want to add fresh, relevant content. And one way to do that is by having a blog and blogging about topics throughout the week or on a monthly basis. Also, video. Video is key. And I always say that if you give somebody a choice between a video and a text, they're probably going to choose the video first. Why? Because video is just easy. It's easy to watch videos, easy to learn about video quickly. So, with that comes having a page, having a channel on YouTube. So, if you don't, definitely create a channel on YouTube to share your videos because YouTube is somewhere where you can host your videos and also share them on your website and other places. So let's go to YouTube. Um, let's go to the U.S. Black Chambers page. This is their page right now. So you see they have so many videos on here. Their trainings, other information. But this is key because people want to see things, and especially in this new digital super video world where we can't be together all the time, video is key. Why? Because video is personal. If I can see you, if I can hear you, guess what? That builds a bond. So I come to your website and I view a video. Wow, guess what? That video has more impact than a whole page of text. Why? Because I can see you, I can hear you. That's going to build trust. So once again, video is key. And the great thing too about video is you can take video, you can embed it in your website. It could be on YouTube. You can share these videos on LinkedIn or Twitter or any site. So when you do have video, be sure to share video everywhere you can because video is that easy. Also, if you're starting out video, you may know it's my setup. I have a really nice setup, camera and lighting. I didn't start like this. I didn't. So starting out using your cell phone or your webcam and your repeater is good. Start somewhere. Just start shooting video. Even if that's holding your phone up and shooting a video for Facebook or Instagram or even YouTube, that's okay. But you want to start using videos. Why? Because consumers love video. And also, as far as creating content, it's much easier to create a video than it is to sit down and write a blog post. You are all experts in your field, experts in travel, in cooking, in personal shopping. So creating a video that's a minute, 2 minute long is easy because you're looking at the camera and you're just talking. So if you're not using video, definitely use video. It's a great way to create content and also to continue to build those bonds with your customers. Okay, and once again, this is what I was talking about, creating click-worthy titles and descriptions. So right here, you can see it. So having your titles and descriptions really be catchy is very important. You want to pull people in because, once again, this is the carrot. When I come to your website, this is what I'm going to see that's going to pull me in. So make sure you're writing descriptions and titles that pull people in. So, for example, if you have a travel company, maybe your title is top 10 travel destinations. Okay. And then in that description, you talk about quickly the top destinations for travel. And then on your page, you expand upon that. So, really important. The way somebody's going to see you first is through that title, that description. Make sure it's catchy. Make sure it really pulls them in. Also, I would say don't make customers think. This is a mistake that I see all across the line, all online. is your customers are busy, they're impatient. Don't make them think too hard about what to do. So by saying that, I mean, be clear online on what you do. When I come to your website, I should be able to identify what you do in 3 seconds. If you sell baking supplies, say that on your website once again. If you are a travel company, say that right off the bat because why? I'm not going to spend time, customer is not going to spend time searching around and trying to find you. So your phone number, your address, your email address should all be prominent on every page. Why? Because don't make customers think. Because guess what? If a customer comes to your site and thinks too hard, they're leaving. They're going back to Google and they're finding a company that is just easier to do business with. And that's really what they want. They want a company that's seamless, that's easy to do business with. So be as clear as possible to your customers online when you're telling them exactly what you do and what are you about. Okay, so we're coming up on the end here, but we have about 20 minutes left. So I'm just going to pause once again. Any questions or comments about anything I said? If there are, please just type those in the comment box below and I answer your questions. So once again, any questions about anything I said or is anybody having any struggles in digital marketing? If so, this is your chance to ask the expert. I will answer your questions. So any challenges you're having in your business, once again, now is the time to ask those questions. I'll pause and I'll be sure to answer those questions. Okay, so while I wait for questions, I'll just talk some more digital marketing. So yeah, we said a lot tonight. Okay, I've got a few questions. Here we go. All right. Okay, are you going to share any tools or resources we can use to pick the best keywords? Yes, I am. That's a great question. I have a slide about that, and I skipped it. So let's go back to that real quick. So if you want a tool to find more keywords, um, Go has a few tools for that. Um, okay, so one is called Google Search Console. Let me pull it up for you and show you real quick. So if you go to Google Search Console, what it can do is confirm that Google can see your website because sometimes, depending on the way your website was built, it may not be visible to Google. So if you go, let me show you to just Google Search Console, and it'll give you some tips on how to make sure your website is performing the best. So that's one way to do it. Simply, you go here, you just type in your URL, and it will go to your site and give you a breakdown of performance. One other way too is a site called Google Trends. So let's try that. Google Trends. Google Trends is a great way because it gives you kind of a sense of what keywords are being searched the most. So just search Google Trends. That site is pretty simple. Um, you can type in any keyword here. So let's type in vegan food again and see what comes up. And what it's going to do is going to show you how those keywords are performing. It'll tell you what state gets the most searches. It'll even tell you what are some of the related topics. So maybe the keyword that you type in, people aren't looking for. It'll tell you related search to that. So you can see those samples down here. So two tips: Google Search Console and also Google Trends will give you a better idea of what keywords um, that you want to use for your business. Okay, let's go back up. Um, Other questions. Yeah, so how to reach out to me? Yeah, the best way is by email. My email is pretty simple. It's s@sterlingmckinley.com. Once again, that's s@sterlingmckinley.com. So the best way to reach me is by email, which is s@sterlingmckinley.com. Also, I'm on all social media channels. If you go to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. Simply just search my name, Sterling McKinley, and I'll come up on all of those different profiles. Hey, thanks for joining us. Okay, your question is I need help getting info on the best person to help professional Google listings. Read that one more time. I need help getting info on the best person to help with Google professional listings. Are you talking about Google My Business? Let me know exactly what you need. Once again, I can help you. My email, once again, is s@sterlingmckinley.com. But let me know exactly what you want to question. I think you're asking about Google My Business. Type in the chat box exactly what you mean. Okay, cool. We can talk about that real quick. So it's pretty easy to do actually. If you just go to Google and you type in, let's show you what I'm typing in, Google My Business. It's easy to set up. And if you have a Google account, you already can sign into it. So once again, the easiest way to find it is to Google it. So type in Google My Business, and that's what gets you started. But once again, Google My Business is a great way, easy way to show up within the search listings for your business. So they give you a breakdown on what they offer here. So people turn to Google My Business, Google Maps and search to find companies that are near them. That's the great part about it. So when somebody does a search, and if they're near you, hopefully it shows your business. So set up Google My Business is free and it's easy. It doesn't cost you anything. It's easy to set up. Think of it as kind of a mini personal website in a sense. So it's really cool because you can set up your page with your information as well, more information. So that's what it is. Let's see. You said I have a Google My Business, but I like to appear on the first if possible. Yeah, that's a battle depending on what you do. So once again, I think the best way is to send me an email directly. Once again, s@sterlingmckinley.com. But type in again what you do, or type in your business name, and we'll do a quick search. We'll pull up your website, and I'll give you some tips because I give you some general tips like I already did. But if you can, type in the name of your business or your website, and I'll pull it up and give you some tips. But that's the thing about SEO is it can be tough to come up first because let's face it, we all want to be first because the first link gets the most clicks. So that's something that we all want. But something I said earlier tonight is try to be very targeted and very niche based in what you offer online. Why? Because the more general you are, the more competition. But if you type in something that's very targeted, the chance of you showing up higher or even better. So once again, your business name is Rich Beauty Company. So let's type it in. Let's see what comes up. Okay, so I typed in Rich Beauty Company. I'm guessing this is your your website here. Let's go to Instagram and see. Okay, I think that's you. All right. So one thing I can say is you want to keep creating more content. Looking at your Google My Business page, you have 2 reviews. You have 5 stars of awesome. But I would suggest getting more reviews. So every customer you have, be sure to ask them to put a review on your page because the more reviews you have, you'll get a higher listing. And also, when customers see you, they say, "Wow, look at Rich Beauty. They have 85, 5-star reviews. They must be a good company. I want to come to them." So, ask for more reviews. That will help as well. Um, Also, on your profile, um, you have a good number of pictures in there. So yeah, keep putting pictures. That helps as well. And you said I don't like uh, the main pics that show up on Google, but I don't know how to toggle pin the pics that are most current. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, definitely be sure to add more pictures to that. Um, uh, you might want to try deleting some old pictures and uploading new pictures. That way they show up. But normally Google does show the most recent pictures, so I'm not sure why it's showing older pictures. But if you can, delete those pictures and upload some new ones as well. Um, but also keep posting on Instagram as well. I see you have pictures there. Keep posting those pictures. Let's go to images. See what you have. You have a few pictures here, which is good. Hmm. Yeah, so that's strange. Yeah, definitely email me. Once again, s@sterlingmckinley.com because you said the app won't allow you to upload new pictures. Yeah, that's strange. I'm not sure why you can't do that. But after this webinar, once again, I'm on all profiles. The school, Sterling McKinley. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, or just send me email at s@sterlingmckinley.com, and I'll look more into your issue. But that is definitely strange. I had a few more comments here. Like some tips, my business, shop and sip. Let's look you up real quick. We have a few minutes left. Let's see. Shop and sip. Okay, I think I have your slide up here. Shop and sip LLC. I think this is you down here. Um, I'm not sure this is you or not. This you episode type into yes, that's my right email address. s@sterlingmckinley.com. Um, okay, your business is new. Okay, great. Um, yeah, well, if you're new, it may take a while to show up in the listings. Once again, starting a page on Google My Business is always key because that way you will show up right away. Also, I would recommend on every social media profile, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, anything, make sure you claim your business name as a page and create that because that will help you get more listings as well. Yeah, but starting a new business can be tough. But once again, claim all your profiles. Also, make sure that your website really tells who you are, and also create a page on Google My Business as well to help out with that. So let's see what other questions we have. Let's see, we have one here. It says, any suggestions for me? When you type in music tourism, I come up third. I guess client reviews would help too. So your business is called music tourism? Okay, let's do a search for that real quick. Okay, I did a search for your site, music tourism. I'm not sure if this is it. If not, uh, okay, black. Yeah, yeah, third. Okay. Um, so yeah, one thing I would say with your website is you have a niche. So just not music tourism, but black music tourism. So I wouldn't worry too much about trying to compete with music tourism because that's general. But it seems that you, um, I believe, do mostly, let's see, Caribbean and like, more African type music. If that's true, I would definitely make sure you bring that out in your search because if we typed in some of those terms, you may come up more. But being on third is not a terrible position to be in. That's pretty good. Let's go back here. Yeah, I would say having more pictures on your profile would be great. I'll say blogging on your website would help as well too. Um, Video help for your site as well. So um, that would be my key. But once again, I want final things to make you unique and stand out because that's really going to help you, get more of those listings. See, you have a blog here. That's good. August, October, yeah, last year. Okay, so keep blogging. Definitely a way to get um, more views. But once again, I'm reading through your profile here. You talk about couples and multi generational. Those are all categories, all keywords that you should key on because it's more just about music tourism. And there's more to go into that. So try to stand out with some of those keywords that are a little more descriptive about what you do. That might help. And yeah, by name, it's going to be S um, Ter. You got it right. Yeah, sterlingmckinley.com. Yep. Sterling McKinley McKinley.com. Yeah, you got it. So how do you claim your profile? Pretty simple. If you just type in any business name, let's try one. Oof, I'm not sure what's gonna come up, but if you actually go to Google My Business, I believe you can just do a search for your business and see if it comes up. Or if you go to Google and you type in, I think, claim your profile, you can claim it pretty easily. Yeah, but the best way to do that is just type in the name of your business, and under it you should see a little tab that says "Claim My Business." And when you see that, click on that, and you have to verify that you own that company. So what they'll do, Google will send out a postcard to your business, and that will allow you to claim your business as yours. So you have to put in your address and so on, and send your postcard with a code. Once you get that code, put that code into Google, and you will be able to claim your profile that way. So yeah, a lot of questions all at the end, but I appreciate that. So we're coming up on the end of my time now. Let's go back and close out. Okay, so to close out, once again, I said all night, Google is a new phone book. So if you want more customers, more leads to your website, Google is the place to be. Why? Because that's where people are looking for companies. So once again, if you want to find out about more training about any topic, whether that's finance, access to capital, anything, The U.S. Black Chambers offers so many trainings and workshops on that. To find out more, visit usblackchambers.org/webinars for lists of upcoming events. Also, this training live stream is being recorded and is on demand on all channels. So if you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook or LinkedIn, when this webinar is over, you can rewind it and play it again, or you can see a list of past webinars and learn more that way. Also, if you want more tips on how to use Google's product and services, Google has a website that has videos, how-tos, trainings, everything. All you have to do is visit google.com/grow to get a list of more trainings. So once again, thank you for your time tonight. I appreciate it. A lot of questions, a lot of comments. Once again, if any questions or comments, feel free to leave those in the chat box, and I'll go through after the webinar and review those. Also, if you want to, send me an email at sterling@sterlingmckinley.com and I'll answer your question. Once again, we'll be back here on next Thursday night at 6 p.m. talking once again about Google's products and services and how they can help you grow your Black business. So have a good night. Take care. I'll see you later. Bye.